happy Friday. Go ahead and grab your homework out from yesterday. If you didn't finish it, it is late. You need to take a minute, pause the video, finish that homework assignment before you are ready to check. If you have finished and completed, go ahead and get out your checking pen, and we're going to go over the homework from yesterday and make sure we are understanding what to do. So I'll put the answers up here, but I'm going to walk through each problem just to make sure we don't have any questions before the quiz today. So page 465, we're here on question number 1. Okay, let's take a look. So 6 feet less than the width. I told you yesterday that you could put the W right above it. So if you had the width, you can put W here. It doesn't have to be a W. Remember, it can be any variable that you choose, but you do have to have identified and defined the variable. That's worth a point. And then you get a point for saying your variable minus 6 is the correct expression because it was 6 feet less. It cannot be 6 minus W, because then you're taking away the W, the width, from 6. Okay, so not this. So that's worth 2 points for number 2, or for number 1. Going on to number 2, let's identify our variable. So our unknown in this problem was the number of hours that Theodore studies. Okay, so hours that Theodore studies, maybe used H. You could use any variable you choose, but that's worth a point. And it said 6 hours more per week. So you could have H plus 6 would be the best one, but because addition is commutative, 6 plus H would also work. Again, it doesn't have to be H, but it needs to be some type of variable there. Okay, number 3, our unknown, 6 years less than Tracy's age. Tracy's age is our unknown. You might have used a T. I preferably won't use T's because it looks like a plus sign, but if you use a T, just make sure it looks a little loopy on the bottom, okay? But if you use T, 6 years less means that we have to take the 6 away from the age. So you get a point for defining your variable and then a point for your expression. Number 4 is a little bit tricky for us. So our unknown here is the number of points that the Panthers scored. So let's say we're going to use P to define our variable there. First, we kind of have to break down what's closest. So it says 1/3 of. We know that this word of means to multiply. So we're taking 1/3 of P. So you could have 1/3 times P, and then 2 less would be minus 2. Or you could have P divided by 3 minus 2. Okay? Or you could have it written this way. I would just prefer that we are starting to shift to this way if you're using division, or this one is excellent for your expression as well. And this one's worth 2 points. Point for defining your variable, and then a point for your expression. Okay, let's go ahead and go down then to question 5. This one again was a little tricky for us. We had to really break it apart. It says the United States House of Representatives has 35 more members than 4 times the number of members in the United States Senate. Define a variable and write an expression to represent the number of members in the House of Representatives. Then find the number of members in the House of Representatives if there are 100 members. So we had to really remember that the whole expression here is representing the number of House of Representative reps. So our unknown in this problem actually is the number of people in the Senate. So it's this here. So that's worth a point for defining your variable. Okay? And then we needed to come up with the expression. So it does say 4 times the number of members in the Senate. So that would be 4 times S, written better as 4S, has 35 more members. So plus 35. This whole expression here that's worth a point is equivalent to the number of representatives in the House. So they're saying there are 100 members in the Senate. So that means 4 times that 100, which would be 400, plus 35 additional, which would give you 435 members. So this question is worth 3 total points. A point for defining the variable, a point for your expression, and then a point for your answer of 435 members. If you're missing the label behind members, you could say people also, but if you're missing the label, go ahead and subtract a half a point. Okay, number 6. Danny's using this table to help convert measurements when she's sewing. Okay, on number 1, or letter A, part A of number 6, It asked you to describe the relationship between the number of feet and the number of yards. You could have even just said 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. You have to divide by 3 to figure out the number of yards, something along those lines. This one's just worth a point. You talked about that relationship, you get your point. Then it said write an expression for the number of yards in F feet. What they're telling you here is that F has to stand for feet in this problem. Okay, so you could say, if you're going from feet to yards, you could say 1/3 of the number of feet would be equal to yards, or you could say the number of feet divided by 3, or F divided by 3 would be fine. This is worth 1 point. Then it said find the number of yards in 63 feet. Well, if we put 63 in for F and divide it by 3, we would get 21 yards. So 1 point there for letter C. Okay, then going on to number 7, an inch is equal to about 2.54 centimeters. Write an expression that estimates the number of centimeters in x inches. So that would be 2.54x. And then estimate the number of centimeters in 12 inches. So that would be 2.54 times 12. We solve, there's 8, 10, 5, placeholder 4, 5, 2, 8, 4, 10, and 3. 2 spots behind the decimal makes that 30.48 centimeters. So this one is worth 2 points also. Go ahead to page 466. Let's check the remainder on that page. Number 8, they asked us to write the expression estimating the number of dollars in x euros. So we would take 1.2 times x. It doesn't have to be x, but no, it does have to be x actually, because it says x euros. So 1.2x, and then estimate the number of American dollars equal to 25 euros. We'd take 25 times 1.2, 5, placeholder 5 and 2, 0, 10, 3. 1 spot behind the decimal makes this $30. So this one's also worth 2 points. Number 9 is a little tricky. We really had to dissect this one. It first asks us to define a variable. So define the variable should be somewhere you've said that your variable, whatever you chose, M works great, is Marcella's age. So that's worth a point. And then we break it apart. So I'm going to start with Marcella's age here. That's M. 1/3 Marcella's age. So 1/3 Marcella's age would be 1/3 M. It says that Justin is 2 years older. Well, 2 years older would be adding 2. Now this right here represents Justin's age. Okay? So we're just going to remember that. It says Amy is 4 years younger than 2 times Justin's age. Okay, so if we have Amy is 4 years younger than 2 times Justin's age, we just had to write a variable to just define Justin's age. So our answer, I guess right here, is 1/3 M plus 2. Okay, and Justin, if you put in Marcella's age as 63, that'd be 1/3 times 63 plus 2. So 1/3 times 63 over 1, 1 and 21 would give me 21. 21 plus 2 gives me 23 years old. So there's our third point. But then it says Amy is 4 years younger than 2 times. So 2 times Justin's age, but 4 years younger. Well, I'd go back to over here. If Justin is 23, Amy is 4 years younger than 2 times. Well, 2 times Justin's age would be 46, minus 4, because she's 4 years younger, would give us 42. So there's Amy's age. Okay, so this one is worth a point for Amy's age, a point for Justin's age, a point for Justin's expression, and then a point for defining the variable. So this is worth 4 total points. Okay, a little bit tricky one, so if you got that one, great job. Then take a look at our finding the error. Elisa's writing an algebraic expression for the phrase 5 less than a number. Find her mistake and then fix it. 5 less than a number means we have to take it away from the number. So it should have been n minus 5. What did she do? She put them in the wrong order, something along those lines. So you get 1 point for telling what the mistake was, but she indicated it in the wrong order. That's a point. And then n minus 5 being the correct expression gives you an additional point. Okay? Go ahead and count up how many you have missed. There was 2 for 10, 4 for 9, 2 for 8. So we're at 8 points on this page. We had 2 on these ones. 9, 10. 22 total points. So give yourself a score at the top of the page out of 22 points. Okay, and circle that. And what I would like for you to do is to turn that homework into the 7th period tray for me at this time. So if you'd go ahead and make sure your score and your name are on it and turn that into the 7th period tray, I would appreciate it. And then you're going to turn in your textbook to page 472. Okay? Put that checking pen away. Now you're going to grab your pencil. So we have finished the first half of chapter 6. The first lesson on powers and exponents, then numerical expressions, then algebraic expressions, and then writing expressions, which we did yesterday. And that's what your quiz is going to be over today. What I'd like for you to do on page 472, you may use your resources, look back. I want you to go ahead and complete all of page 472 and pause the video at this time, complete that, and then come back to the video and we will check this together. So go ahead and pause the video at this time. Welcome back. Hopefully it wasn't too difficult for you to finish up this mid-chapter check. We'll put you in a good place for being prepared for your quiz. Let's take a look at question number 1. Question number 1 asks us to define powers. Define means to give a definition. So you could say numbers expressed using exponents. It could be a number with an exponent, something along those lines. That's worth a point. And then it said to give an example of a power with an exponent of 2. So you could have 2 squared, you could have 4 squared, you could have 10 squared. Whatever you chose, they did 13 squared. As long as you have an exponent up above that is a 2, you get your point there. So 2 points for number 1. Number 2, you just had to fill in the blank. The blank tells you which operation to perform first, that everyone finds the same value for an expression. That should be the order of operations. So a point for number 2. Then let's go down to our skill check. Okay? When you're finding the power as a product of the same factor, please be careful with this vocabulary. You'll see this on your quiz today as well. The power as a product should be 7 times 7. 7 times 7 is 49. That's the value. Okay? Power as a product, and then the value. That's what you see here. Power as a product, and then the value. This is worth 2 points. Same thing on number 4. Power as a product means I have 5 of the number 5. If I multiply those, I would go 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 5 is 25. And then I would go 25 times 25, and then take that times 5. And we get 3,125, which is right here. So this is also worth 2. You will be able to use a calculator on your quiz today, so just keep that in mind. Okay, number 5, x plus 11. If we substitute 6 for x, 6 plus 11 gives us 17, 1 point. If I substitute 6 in here, parentheses first, 6 minus 5 is 1. 4 times 1 gives me 4, 1 point. And then x is 6, so 2 times 6 divided by 6. Order of operations says I multiply first because it's on the left. So I get 12 divided by 6 gives me 2. 1 point there as well. Okay, let's go down to 8 and 9. Tia is 8 years younger than her sister Annette. Annette is y years old. Write an algebraic expression that describes Tia's age. So if Tia is 8 years younger than her sister Annette, and y represents her sister Annette, it would have y minus 8 to represent Tia. That's 1 point. And then the cost of a shirt and a pair of pants is shown over here. They wanted the expression that would show the cost of 4 shirts. So 4 times 16 plus 3 pairs of hands. So 3 times 23. And the best one there would be letter B. Okay, go ahead and count up how many you missed. And give me at the top of the page where it says mid-chapter check, you're going to give me a score out of 12 possible points. And make sure that your name is also on this. Okay, I would like you to also turn this paper into the 7th period tray today. At this time, you are prepared for your quiz. You're in a good position to take your quiz. If you need to go back and review something here, please do so. You do need to get your quiz in sometime during class today. So if you need to review, take a few minutes to do so. Otherwise, in a minute, you're going to finish this video out, put your iPad away. You'll need to pick up a testing folder when you go to turn this assignment in and bring that back to your seat. You may use a calculator. So just a pencil and a calculator and your testing folder out. Once you have that ready, then you can go and talk to the sub about getting a copy of your quiz to take. When you're finished with that, put that in the 7th period tray, and then she'll have a wrap-up for you to complete, and then IXL. Please keep your wrap-up until Monday, okay? Good job today. Good luck on your quiz. Remember, you may look up in desperation, down in concentration, not the left, the right, the front, back for any information. Do your best work and your own work. Work carefully. Do your best. I know you'll do awesome. Have a good rest of your day. See you on Monday.